Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marie from Crafty Landing and I'm here with a flip through for you today. This lovely little journal is traveller notebook size, so it's roughly 4.5 by about 8, 7.5, 8. And I have used mostly the Moments Pressed in Time kit by Sweet Pea Curiosities. It is gorgeous. I will leave the link for the kit below. And you've got a sneaky peek here of the kit on the front because I've layered the cover with a couple of pieces from the kit, along with some items from my stash, like this rose ribbon trim here and a sheer ribbon, which I'm using as the closure, and have a vintage safety pin here with a vintage button and this lovely brass vintage bird here. And I've just used moments, which is a word that's been stamped onto some fabric, and some ribbon and some lace trim here peeking out. The cover itself is a piece of scrapbooking card, and it's a green and blue floral piece, which you might be able to see underneath here. And I've covered completely front and back with this lovely lace and sewn all the way around it. So here is what she looks like closed. She is quite chunky monkey here, and you can see the beautiful pages have some ribbon and some lace trims on the edge of the pages, and I've used a few little trinkets here on the front. So let me just undo her and we'll have a little peek inside. So she's bounced open a little bit there, so you can see how chunky she is. And I've used a little piece of trinket here on the front with the lace that I've layered up, and the sheer ribbon is removable completely because all I've done is I've put it through one of the sewn bound in pieces from the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, so that the ribbon can be totally removed from her. Right, I'm just going to move the ribbon out of the way and we'll get started. So yeah, so a semi-hard cover. It is quite hard actually because it's two pieces of scrapbooking card that I've put back to back, and I love the way the lace trim here can be seen from the inside of the cover here. I've inked all the way around, and we have the very front page here, another image from that beautiful kit. It's just got that vintage vibe, hasn't it? And that is a tuck, and I have made a tag here with some ribbon, embossed card at the top, and I've fussy cut out a butterfly and put the butterfly on there, and some Amity Bloom paper on the back there. That minty teal, very pale minty teal colour, goes quite well with the neutral vibes in here. So I've used that as well. This side is a page, so I've just folded, a pocket where I've just folded the previous page over and glued top and bottom to make the pocket. And we have an envelope here, which I've left unstuck for a bit of writing room, and I've inked all the way around that. And I've stuck a little bit of lace on there. I love the front, the way it's that fancy opening there. I love it. So I've just popped that inside that pocket. This page, we have an up tuck, I suppose it's a pocket at the top. I call it an up tuck, but it is a pocket. And that image is from Amity Bloom, one of Amity Bloom papers, and I've mounted it on some brown paper there. And inside, I have put an envelope, and inside the envelope there are some bits and pieces here. So there's a little stamped tag and a die cut flower, and then we've also got, if I can get it out, we've also got, oh, on this side, another image from the Moments Pressed in Time kit. That one there, it's beautiful, isn't it? So they're all in the envelope, and then the envelope gets tucked up in there. but there's also another pocket. So there's also another pocket, and I've just left this one plain for a bit of journaling, and I've decorated the edge here, put a eyelet through and tied a little ribbon into a bow. So there's some bit of hidden journaling in there, and that can also be used as a page tab to help turn the page over. A little bit of collaging going on here using items from my stash. That cameo is from my stash, but this is an image here from the kit. And I believe this paper here, I think that might be Amity Bloom kit as well. Here I've used this floral image, and that is a flip up there to show this beautiful floral image here. And the papers are so neutral that you could even do some journaling down the side here. And this beautiful lace trim on the page edge there. Another pocket on this side, and inside the pocket I've made a postcard, and I've collaged one of the images up with a flower and some lace and ribbon trim. This is from the Pressed In Moments kit. This beautiful blue and neutrals. Honestly, I love the kit. And there is the original postcard on the other side. Look at that writing. And I think this postcard is dated, oh, can't see the date, but it's a halfpenny stamp. So it's a British halfpenny stamp. But look at that penmanship, that ink pen, lush. So I've just covered an original postcard with my own collaging there. And this side, another beautiful image from the kit. And again, a bit of embossed paper, fussy cut butterfly, some aged tape, and a bit of twine down here. And if you undo the twine, she will lift up. So you've got some journaling space on the back there, and it hides a pocket, and then inside the pocket I've got a few bits and pieces to journal on. That's from my stash, which gets it tucked in there. And this printed tag I've made into a sort of writing little booklet there, and that gets put in there. And this pocket, I have used a couple of split pins there to decorate the pocket and keep that closed. And so that gets down there, put down there, and you tie the twine up. I'll do that in a minute. Turn over, and we have some collaging here as a tuck spot, and I've included some original bank checks here. Barclays Bank from 1966, and another one here. That's a paying in one, I believe. So they are original, and the colour tones worked well with the kit. And this is, now this side is a pocket, and if I show you the inside of the pocket there, it's this has been taken from I believe it's a household insurance, and I've just used the back side here for writing space, and I've done a little bit of a collage with a flower and a tab here, but you can see the indent of the original gold stamp. So this was an original cover, and I've just used this side for some writing space, and I've made it into a pocket here. So again, some images from the kit which I've just collaged up, done a bit of hand stitching down the side here. So that's some hand stitching, and inside the pocket I've included an original French letter here, and you just open it up if I can. Here we go. There we are, and there's some beautiful penmanship inside. So that's an original French piece, and I'll pop that back inside. And we have some more of these beautiful papers. This is an Amity Bloom one. She blossomed anyway. Oh, I love it. Just love it. It's beautiful. On this side, this is from the Pressed Moments in Time kit. And these lady images, they are just so beautiful. And what I've done here is I've got a lace tie on top of some lace collage here, and if you open her up, I've stuck an original piece of vintage lined paper in there. That's from a ledger, I believe. And I've just done, oh, you can actually see the watercolour. I don't know if you won't be able to see it here on camera, but when you hold it up to the light, you can actually see the original watermark on the paper. So that just closes up, and you tie that to keep her closed. A bit of original hidden journaling there. I've done some collaging on this page. That's an original stamp, and I've collaged it up. And in here, I've made a long tag which fits in the pocket, and that's from the Ladies' Encyclopedia. She's beautiful, isn't she? And I've put a little bit of a lace tab and a blue gem and some age tape and a bit of music paper, and you can do some journaling on there. Turn over, more journaling space, and I have some lace going down here, and I've included a bowl pin with vintage button and some lace, another image from the Sweet Pea Curiosities kit. Turn that over, more journaling space there, best things, and I've done some collaging there. So, and hand stitching, so more hand stitching. And this background page is actually an original piece of vintage paper, and I'm just going to show you that writing. It's so gorgeous, that calligraphy writing. And the lace I've flipped over and I've hand sewn it there, top and bottom, and it just adds a decorative page edge there, but it's also open if you wanted to tuck something underneath. Here I have a tag, and that's been attached there with this beautiful heart clip. Let me show you the heart paper clip. Oh, where did that go? There it is. A little heart paper clip, and it's backed onto this beautiful page. And I have one of the Tib Holtz acetate butterflies there, which I stapled on, and then I just collaged this beautiful image up with flowers, an original stamp, some the aged tape, and book page, original vintage book page on the back. So that's a nice long tag. And oh, and this was on the other side, so that's clipped onto the paper clip that side. And then here we have a pocket. Again, I've collaged it up. This is from the Sweet Pea Curiosities kit, and we have a butterfly and a tag there, both of which are backed, ready for some journaling. And here I've hand sewn some lace. This is the center spread, and I've hand sewn some lace onto the page there, and I've popped some gems in the corners of this image here, which I'm using for a bit of a tuck spot there. And this tag is an Amity Bloom one, Life is Beautiful, and I've backed that onto some cardstock which I've collaged up, and I've also got some velvet rickrack here onto some lace trim, and that tag just gets popped into there. I think that looks lovely. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? And we've got some nice neutral space for journaling there. We have another up tuck on this side, and again I've done some collaging up, bit of a trinket heart, the charm of life there, and inside graceful dance, the background of this one. That's an Amity Bloom one. And we have another envelope which I've kept open again. Pretty image, and a little documented daily, so a little journaling card there. So those two go there, and there's the back of that beautiful paper. And again, you can do some journaling around there. So this is the other side of that original handwritten piece of vintage, and I've hand sewn a lace pocket there, and inside the lace I've popped an envelope and some original pieces of ephemera here. So an English literature piece from an old Shakespeare, and some bits and pieces there. And this is an old index clip. Let me show you that. So that's an original old index clip, which just keeps all that together, and that goes inside the lace pocket. And we have an envelope here from the kit, and inside the envelope I've just popped in a butterfly and a flower, so they're in there, and that just gets popped inside there. It's just, oh, so pretty. I love it. So me, the vintage vibes. I've done a belly band there using one of the images from the Pressed in Moments kit. Again, I've done a bit of collaging with vintage button and some lace, the Eiffel Tower in there on the paper background. And we have another tag, be you, let your dreams be your wings and fly through the flowers. And we also have another piece of original vintage, and it's an envelope from Yorkshire Insurance. The green stamp there goes well with the kit, and the colour of this paper is kind of got a tinge of green to it as well as the neutral. It's lovely. 1922. So I've included that in there as well. So those two get popped under the belly band like so. More space for journaling. And on the back of this side, I have another tuck there that I've created using bits and pieces from the kit and my own stash, a little vintage doily there. And I have some very old rag paper French book page here. Very old. That's lovely. And I've popped that under there inside the tuck. A belly band this way. This is actually a flip out, and I've popped some original pieces of ephemera there, gathered it together with some original vintage wallpaper. So there are some bits and pieces in there. And on the flip, there is a belly band here, which I've included some journaling cards, all backed. And I've done some collaging and again some hand sewing on the lace there. So lots and lots of places which hold some treasures can be found in this journal. Writing space there. I used one of my die cuts here, and then the piece I've just made into a pocket, some gems, and inside the pocket we have some original pieces of ephemera, some old small music sheets from a small hymn book that I've got. See the browning around where the staples were. Love it. So pretty. So that fits in that pocket nicely. And journaling space and some original vintage wallpaper there. The colours just go with this beautifully. So that gets tucked into the pocket as well. There we are. Helps to hide any journaling. And I've just done a bit of a scrappy page here using bits and pieces that can be torn off or just used as is and kept on that page, and some more lace trim going down the side. And I've just fussy cut one of the floral elements, journaling space, and I've just popped that fussy cut in the corner there. Here we have another tag, and this time it's held onto the page by a little tiny bulldog clip. Can you see that there? And I have made this tag into one with a pocket, and I've just collaged up some bits and pieces down here, included a stamp, a tag, sorry. There's one of the beautiful images. Again, I've put things in the corners of the pockets and the photographs. The tag goes in there, and on the side here, I've got a little bit of twine with a charm, a butterfly charm, and I've got another tag that falls out there because on the back there is another pocket and some more writing space. And then underneath where that tag has been clipped, I have a pocket, and I've included an original postcard, vintage postcard, black and white one, my dear daughter on her birthday, and again some beautiful handwriting on there. This one must have been given, not sent, because it hasn't got a stamp or an address on it. So it does say, wish you many, dear daughter, wish you many happy returns from Ma and Pa. That's lovely, isn't it? So I've just popped that into the pocket, and that tag then gets clipped onto that page. More space for journaling, and an envelope that's been paper clipped onto that beautiful page there with lots of writing, a text page, and inside this handmade envelope I've included an original letter, and I think it's from a mother to her son, dated 1953 and handwritten in fountain pen. So that's from a mother to her son. Dear David, from Mum. I won't read it all. That can be for the person who is the new owner of this journal, and it is already sold. So it is going to go to its new home very soon. And on this side, I have a doily pocket, a vintage part of a vintage cloth doily, which I've hand sewn onto the page. And again, I've included another original postcard here in golds and blues. Is that showing up on the camera? It's beautiful golds, and it is dated again 19, I think that says 22, so 1922, all beautifully handwritten, gorgeous. And that will go in there. I'll put that back in a minute. And then the final page, I have a pocket. The light of the sky comes from you. That part is from an Amity Bloom kit. This part is from a Sweet Pea Curiosities, Moments Pressed in Time, embossed piece, some book page, beautiful image, collaged with some lace and floral trim there, and again ready for some writing on the back. And that is the last page. So that's the end of the journal. So yes, two kits, Amity Bloom and Moments Pressed in Time by Sweet Pea Curiosities. And I just love, love, love the way it has turned out. I think it's worked really well. The vintage is definitely my vibe. I love the neutral colours. But with a bit pops of blues, soft blues and soft greens, mint greens throughout. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I hope the new owner will love her just as much as me. So yeah, thank you for joining me today and having a little look through my latest one. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye.